Oh. Whew. All right, I am live, verse. I'm just gonna need a quick minute or so. I just gotta brighten up the light here. Ugh. All right, cool. Let me see. Just want to double check, make sure everything's cool. Yeah. All right, everything seems nice and legit so far. Verse, I hope that the connection is good. I'm really worried about that. That next week it's gonna start flipping out. Come on, man. All right, okie dokie. Okay, verse. So, actually, let me just brighten my face up, man. Or actually, there we go. Just for a minute, so I can say hey, give a nice good intro, and then we get straight into it. What's up, verse? How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone's doing all right. Had a good day today. I'm gonna be real. I'm just gonna get straight into it. I'm not gonna wait for anybody. I don't care. I wanna get straight into talking about today, verse. Today was a really fun experience today with a friend of mine. So verse, if anybody watches this later, welcome. If not, no harm feelings. I just wanted to say that a special shout out to a good friend of mine, Julius Palma. You know, he's a really good guy. We originally, unexpectedly, he contacted me this morning, right? I was gonna get ready to film something, and then he asked me if I just wanted to hang out and catch up for a little bit, and I was like, yeah, sure. So I caught up with my good friend Julius Palma. We went out to eat, and then it was raining, and then when it was raining, it started hailing ice. I was like, what? I haven't seen hail in quite some time. And then after hailing some ice verse, we started to kind of walk around a little bit, and then we started really catching up, talking about like school and how this was and that was, because my good friend of mine, Julius Palmer, right, he's getting ready to graduate pretty soon. So Julius, shout out to you, my friend, congratulations. After talking about him graduating, right, he asked me if I wanted to see where he worked. He works at his university. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. I was like, if it's okay, and because he works there, right? He's like the manager and stuff, and I didn't know that. So he took me to where he worked at. Went to the university. I got to vlog. I unexpectedly vlog. It might be a small one, but that's totally fine. You know, nothing too big or crazy. I'm gonna work on it in a bit. You know, kind of get it going here and there. Then once we started going to the campus and once he took me in, I got to see the whole thing. He took me on a tour. He even took me on a tour afterwards, just seeing the outwards of it. But then once inside, I got to see this whole studio that they had set up. It was really cool. They had this whole news station going on, right? They had these other sets like where I was at the academy. They were just going around showing. He had this giant green screen. There you go. He had this giant green screen in the back, and then he had like this news table that was right there. I was like, "What? This is so cool!" I like being, you know, it wasn't like a film set, but it was like for what Julius does. My friend, he's more into doing like IT tech and stuff like that. I mean, he's someone that's behind the camera, or I'm someone that likes to work in front of the camera, right? So it's more from a different perspective. But it was just so fun to watch and witness. Verse, like I really did enjoy it. I really did enjoy being able to go around on a university of a different sort and being able to just see what they have. And then he showed me his office, and I was like, "You got an office? That's so cool!" And then after showing me the office, then we just started walking around, just hanging out, talking. He was showing me some other places in the university, and then it just came back. Really looking forward to showing you guys this on the vlog. It's gonna turn out pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, verse. Honestly, it's just it was just a really fun day today. A little tiring, but pretty fun today. Other than that though, Verse, I mean, I'm trying to catch up right now with a lot of stuff. There's been a lot of talk. I recently putting today on the side, right? I did a movie review, my first movie review on this channel. Really happy about it. Roadhouse. People were talking about it. This is Netflix's most highest viewed movie on Amazon. That's how much fun Roadhouse is. Not a masterpiece, but it's fun. It was just a fun, dumb movie, and I loved it. I think Roadhouse was just awesome for that. So anybody who hasn't seen Roadhouse, you gotta see Roadhouse. And then I was going to see Kong X Godzilla, the new movie that came out. And I totally forgot that this weekend's WrestleMania 40. I was like, oh yeah, it's WrestleMania 40. I was like, so I'm not gonna see that movie. I really don't care. It's an eh. If I miss it, I'm not really missing anything else, so it's totally fine. But no, yeah, though it was really fun watching Roadhouse. I'm gonna start talking about other films very soon on my channel, Verse. I want to start getting into talking about films and movies and stuff like that. I think it's really fun to bring that back. I was thinking about making a separate channel for it again, but I was like, nah, I'll just do everything here. I'm comfortable here. And yeah, Verse. Other than that, I mean, they released the photo for Joker. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up on Google and I'll share it with y'all. Let me see. Joker 2. So if I was to bring this down, there we go. Okay. So this is it, right? This is a poster. And it's supposed to come out, it's coming out in October. Okay. The World is a Stage. Yeah, so the thing that's so cool about the Joker movie, right? The new one that's supposed to come out is that already they're saying that it's supposed to be a musical, especially because Lady Gaga's in it. I'm very curious to see how it's gonna turn out. I mean, you know, if Lady Gaga just acts the part, I'll be happy. As long as I don't just see Lady Gaga just being Lady Gaga, that's my only concern. But I mean, with every other role she's done an amazing job. I mean, Lady Gaga surprisingly is a very good actress in what it is that she does. So good for her on this. But no, yeah, they're supposed to release the trailer on the 9th of April. And I'm really curious about that. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. And okay, so putting movies on the side for a moment first. Since today is April 4th, right? I want to use this opportunity to talk to you guys because this is where it's gonna get a little conspiracy theory. All right. So if there's any eyebrows or eyes being rolled up, sorry. You know, I ain't gonna stop talking about what I like to talk about. So. The 3. Okay, let me see. So, Verse, today is April 4th, and I'm gonna be real with some of y'all, right? This is something that I wanted to talk to you about. If anybody out there isn't biblical or knows anything about the Bible, right? We all know that on April 8th, there's going to be an eclipse. Some people know about it, and surprisingly, there were some people that didn't know anything about it. I was like, really? Nobody didn't hear about the eclipse? And there's a lot of talk saying that there's basically going to be a biblical event happening on April 8th because of the eclipse, right? One thing about the Bible that is so interesting is that it tells you things of how they came to be, things that currently happened during those times, how things went up to be as they are now, and then things that are going to happen, right? Even things that are currently happening now. And one of the biggest chapters in the Bible is Revelations. And in Revelations, right, there are a lot of events that chapter talks about that are going to happen. But before certain things happen, right, smaller things are going to build up to that. Right now, Verse, there's a lot of talk that on April 8th, that the 3 days of darkness is going to occur. If you don't know what that is, it means that the whole country, perhaps the whole world, is going to be shrouded in darkness. And it could be for a few moments, could be for a few hours, could be for a few days. I don't know. And the reason why I say that is because if anyone's read the story of Exodus, where the people were freed from the slaves of Egypt, going out of there. That's basically one of the plagues. There were 10 plagues that took place in the story of Exodus, right? And the plague of darkness was the ninth one. So they're saying that this is going to occur again, right? And there's a lot of talk of how it's going to be. There are two theories that I've learned about. One theory is that the plague of darkness is going to be shrouding the whole country, because it's supposed to be punishment, because there's a lot of wickedness being portrayed. That's what a lot of people are saying on TikTok. That's what a lot of people are saying in general. Or two, it's going to be in the form of a map, right? What I mean by that, in the form of an X, excuse me, is going to be only in certain locations. And I'm really hoping for that one. I'm really hoping that it's the second one. I want the 3 days of darkness to be in certain locations and not the whole location. Like for me, I'm in California, so if anyone here is in California, we might be okay. So I'm really hoping for that. In fact, let me see if I can find a map. 3 Days of Darkness map. Maybe it'll... let me see if I could find something that looks... Ah, there we go. Perfect. This is it. This is what everyone's talking about. You see this? So they're saying that this is a spot that is mainly going to be in. So it's going to go through Texas. Yeah, Mexico. We got Texas. Going all the way like as it was heading through New York. And then other locations in the country, right? So you got 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Here and here are the main spots. We're over here. So we might be out of the way. I'm really hoping it's like this, only in certain places, because let's be real, verse. Anything that has to do with God is, as great and as powerful and as loving as He is also scary, right? It's a really scary thing to do, to talk about. It's a really scary thing to talk about. And, I'm going to share something with you, verse. I actually tried talking to some people about this, and people have been really hard to get through. I was thinking about making a video about this, where people have been kind of complicated to really talk to when it comes down to this. And, some people listen, some people didn't, some people are making jokes, and some people are being sadly naive about this. I don't know why. For something that isn't that big of a deal, right? I don't see why you would even bother why you would bother trying so hard to neglect this. That's what I'm saying. I've told family, I've told friends, and for whatever the reason, right, people are just in denial about it. I don't know why. And, I don't tell people this because I'm trying to scare anybody or I'm trying to exaggerate a situation of some kind. That's not really the point of why I was telling people about this. I'm letting people know about this because I just want people to be safe. I want people I know to be okay. I want people I care about to just be well. That's the point of why I let people know what I know. And for some reason, instead of heeding my warning, people are just not taking it seriously. And, that's up to them. I can't really do nothing about that. But at least I can say with confidence that I tried, that I tried, I did do this and that, and, like the Bible says, anyone that has ears, let them hear. And people have ears, but they're choosing not to hear, and I don't know why. Not trying to come up like a religious nut or nothing like that. It's not about that. It's just the fact that there are things in this world that are happening, if I'm being honest, and it's kind of hard to ignore, if I'm being honest with you, right? Like, I don't see how anybody can ignore stuff like this. People are either scared or just so in disbelief, and then when there's actually things happening, for some reason, they're trying harder to just disbelieve it. I don't know why. I mean, here, I am the Alpha and the Tau, beginning and end. I don't know why this is so blurry. But basically, see, April 8th. This is it right here. This is how everything's supposed to look like. Again, verse, I would just say, just take precaution. If you take this seriously, great. If you don't, that's on you. I ain't going to say anything. But I would just say, if you can have a Bible near you, definitely have a Bible near you. If you can have friends and family with you, just have them with you. I would just say, just keep a lookout. I will go more into this, but if I'm being real with you, I think I'm going to make a separate video talking about this situation. I think it's more better and clear and clearer if I try talking about it in a more direct way than in a live stream. You know what I mean? Other than that, though, verse, I'm very curious to know what people are going to say. I'm very curious to know what their reactions are. And most importantly, I'm very curious about just April 8th in general. I've been waiting 3 weeks. I found out about this like 3 weeks ago. And I started telling people like a week after I found out just to confirm if this was really true. Really, how do people even find out about this, right? But then once more and more people started talking about this, I was like, yeah, this is legit. I gotta let as many people as I know and care about know about this. Oh, this is perfect right here. Yeah, this is how the eclipse is going to look like. From San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Little Rock, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Columbus, Cleveland, and Buffalo. Yeah, see? From down here going all the way up here. That's the line. That's how it's going to look like here. So, I just hope that people, pay attention and really know what they're doing. I really do. Because the way how people are nowadays are just... right. But I just had to say this, so in case anybody watches this later, just heed my warning and just take precaution. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to spook anybody. I'm not trying to exaggerate. I just want people to be safe. That's the point of this, So, hey, I did my part, and I'm happy with it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody does. I'm just happy that I did my part. That I'm at least letting you guys know. But putting that on the side, because I wasn't going to make this a whole live stream, just a part of it, because since we're a few days away, because this is April 4th as I'm doing this video, I had to try. But now going back into talking about film, Verse, I want you guys to know that everything's been good so far on this end. I haven't really received any issues so far, which is great. Thank you. Everything's been pretty simple, nice and dandy. Let me see. Westerns. What's so cool is that recently I've been playing Red Dead Redemption a lot. Red Dead Redemption 2. I really love that game. It's a Western. If there's one thing I love, Verse, are Westerns. I love Westerns, I think Westerns are some of the best films in the world, Especially since Westerns were so popular at a certain point, right? And then obviously that shifted and became about something else. I think it was more about just action movies, I believe, and then eventually it shifted more into sci-fi, superhero stuff like that, But westerns, man, westerns are the shizuza. I'm trying not to swear, and I'm kind of cautious to play anything because now that I know that if I play something that's copyrighted, I'm gonna get cut off. So I'm trying to avoid this. Oh, there's John Wayne. Rest in peace, legend. Rest in peace. What's so cool is that if I was to pick between John Wayne or Clint Eastwood, they're both good, but I would rather go with Clint Eastwood. He just has more of a cool style with him. John Wayne is just more of like a calm pro, if I'm being honest with you. He's pretty calm. He's like an expert. Nothing phases him. That's one thing I like about John Wayne. I think he's pretty good at that. Clint Eastwood, man, he's just always a badass in everything that he does. There was one Western I remember with Clint Eastwood where he tried to play like a preacher who used to have been a cowboy, and he tried to repent by not doing that. And then eventually these guys came and were just causing too much trouble where he was like, I'm sorry, God, I gotta be a cowboy again. And he started killing all these guys. I remember that. Clint Eastwood treating actors like... I remember this, yeah. He says... What the heck? Yeah, Tom Hanks worked on Sully. But why isn't it... There you go. That's weird. Okay.
Clint Eastwood directed this film.
Yes, he did. He treats actors like horses. Other movies, they make a big deal about action. Rolling! We are rolling, people! And everybody, stand by! And action! Clint goes like this, and everybody else goes like this. And he says, okay, go ahead. Then you do it. And maybe he'll say, just take that again. Just do it one more time. And then you do it, and he says, all right, that's enough of that. And that's it. And I said, what's the deal? Why did that come from? And he said, when he was doing Rawhide, he had all these old movie directors who just loved the megaphones, and that whole build-up to action would make the horses go right. And so one day he said, in his indomitable way, is there any way that you could just tell us to go? What's it like working with Clint? He treats us like horses.
You know what? That's one thing I like about Clint Eastwood. He has an odd style of directing movies. I've seen almost every single Clint Eastwood movie. I've seen almost every single one. They're always dark tone and like super serious with a certain theme. And I kind of like that. You know, like not every Clint Eastwood movie is great, but he can direct a film. One thing that I liked that he did was a movie called Richard Jewell. That was a really great movie. I liked Richard Jewell. Richard. Oh, there you go. Jewell. Yeah, this was a good film. I like this film. I really enjoyed the Richard Jewell film, where the officer that helped prevent many deaths of a bomb was accused of making the bomb when all he did was just make sure that there was, that there was no issue. And then hearing about what the FBI did, doing all these things, taking away his rights, trying to be slick, putting bugs in his apartment, wires and stuff like that. I was like, man, it was a really good story. The movie about Richard Jewell and this guy Sam Rockwell. I like Sam Rockwell as an actor, man. He played a great lawyer. I liked him in this film. Clint Eastwood did a great job doing this. USA man cleared of Atlanta bombing wants an apology. Yeah, I remember that. He wanted an apology from the FBI because back then the FBI was super shady, super shady. And then at times, I'll be honest, Richard Jewell, the movie, it kind of became a little cartoony at times. There's some things where I was like, people don't act like that. But it's enjoyable. I liked it. I liked it for what it was. And then Clint Eastwood did the movie Sully, right? The one that was based on the plane landing in the water. Yeah. I mean, look, this is how the pilot looked like. Did he had a stash? Why didn't he have a stash? Yeah, luckily no one died. It just landed in the water, like in the Hudson River or something like that. Yeah, there you go, on the Hudson. Yeah, I like Clint Eastwood's films, man. Like, he did a good job with this stuff. This was cool. But when it goes down to westerns, you know what? I'm just kind of curious. Let me see, westerns. Oh, crap. Westerns. Behind the scenes. Unforgiven. Oh, let me see behind the scenes. Please don't copyright me. Please don't copyright me.
He is fearsome and haunted, a man burdened by terrible remorse and by a terrible talent for killing. He is William Money. He's played by Clint Eastwood in a new movie called Unforgiven.
All right, I'm coming out.
I remember that movie. Great movie.
This is the story of how that movie came into being, of the mood in which it was created. A dark tale made in a light spirit.
Here comes this guy.
Most especially, it is the story of how the film was directed by Clint Eastwood.
We'll press both the last two, huh?
Oh, them using the horses. That's tight seeing Clint direct. I've never seen him direct.
Put a hamburger in my bed. Well, if I hadn't just had lunch, it would have been all right.
The cast and crew of Unforgiven gather.
I'm gonna be real. Out of all the films that me as an actor could ever be on, one type of film that I would love to do as an actor is a Western. I've always wanted to do a Western theme film. I really, really do. It's one of my top three genres of all time that I really want to do. I'm not really someone that's trying to do something typical. I really want to do something that stands out, right? And Westerns are such manly movies. I love Westerns so much, to such a degree, that I have so much respect for them. Especially stars that were made from Westerns, like John Wayne or Clint Eastwood, right? And others like what's his name? Ethan Hawke, Ethan Hawke. I like Ethan Hawke as an actor. He's really good in a western also. But yeah, westerns have been like my number one. I think number two that I've always wanted to do is like a boxing movie. I would love to do a boxing movie. It would be a lot of time and energy, but I would love to do one. Boxing is such a great sport. And then number three, I'm still kind of debating between two, but I know for my first two is definitely a western and a boxing film. That's for sure. I would love to be on a set
Firm rule.
on an actual ranch and just see how how they do all this. We're just gonna skip a little bit. I can't risk copyright, so I'm gonna have to just skip some of this. I can't help it.
Okay. He says very
Do a little
to
bit,
me,
maybe small.
which I appreciate because much of what's said to you by a lot of directors is all ego, and they say it for the people who around the camera.
Eastwood was drawn to David Peoples' script by its arresting mixture of moods and motives. His mood on set never swings. It's all calm confidence and far from his tough screen image.
You'll never see a bullhorn on an Eastwood set.
He takes the work seriously, but not himself.
Right. Send to the lab. Shelve it. Yeah, so let's see what you do there, Richard. Jack? Jack? Yeah, oh, that's perfect. Just like that.
There was a scene the other day, in fact, that wasn't working for me at all.
I gotcha. Oh, Gran Torino. That's another one I freaking like. Yeah, Gran Torino was such a great movie. I gotta rewatch it, man. Yeah, I think Clint Eastwood started his own filming studio. He has his own production and everything.
One night I just flipped it open and read it, and I thought, this is kind of a bizarre story and a little different.
I'm Sue, and that's my brother Tom.
So, I'm sorry. Sorry for what?
Trying to steal your car. I hadn't done anything in 4 years as an actor and hadn't planned on doing any more, really. I was kind of enjoying it behind the camera.
That's crazy. Clint Eastwood is such a hard ass on film, like on screen, and then when it comes down to behind, he's like such a nice guy. I like that.
Whenever Clint chooses to act and direct in a movie, and besides the fact that he's, producing and thinking about the music throughout, he's got a lot going on.
I always swore after a couple of years, I'd gravitate out of acting, and here I am, still doing it as a derelict.
I couldn't imagine it being anybody else when I read it, It was just one of those things. It has to be Clint, or you shouldn't make the movie.
Ever notice how you come across somebody once in a while that you shouldn't have fucked with? That's me.
It just felt like an extension of his Dirty Harry character and of his westerns and so forth, and seemed to fit perfectly into the sort of the arc of Clint's career in terms of an actor and a
I would love to work with Clint Eastwood, man.
When I read it, I thought somebody sort of tailored this for me, but I hadn't talked to any writers or anything. So if it wasn't me, I don't know who they'd gone to. There's not too many actors my age around.
Clint and Rob asked me, they said, did you write that for Clint? And I said, no. And I think they're a little bit surprised. I think a lot of people would be scared to play that part. And he took it and not only ran with it, but filled it out even more than was on the page.
Get off my lawn. Okay. Well, you better watch your back.
He's a guy who is very, very disturbed about the way culture has gone. He's had
It's more for me to watch later. But yeah, Verse. There's just so much out there to do when it comes down to making films. Well, Verse, honestly, I might have to cut this a little short today, just because since I did a vlog unexpectedly, I have to put that together. I really, really do. So with that said, though, Verse, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry I'm gonna have to cut this short. Half an hour will do fine. I just really wanted to talk to you guys about mainly 3 things. Just what had happened today, hanging out with my friend. I'm gonna try to put that up tomorrow in that video. Being able to, always wanted to work on a Western and watching Westerns. I love Westerns. And then 3, then the 3 Days of Darkness. I'm going to have to go more in depth about that either before or after the event, but I definitely have my thoughts on saying it, that's for sure. With that said, though, Verse, thank you very much for hearing me. I appreciate you guys. I'm very thankful to you guys for watching. If you like what you saw, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification for more content as always. Look forward to the next video, Verse. And with that said, I thank you for your time. I'm so sorry if I just seem a little down. I'm honestly thinking about maybe shifting my time to a lower time so I have more energy, because I'm getting a little tired, you know what I mean? Like, kind of waiting towards the end of the day. So I'm going to see what I can do in between. But other than that, though, Verse, I thank you for your time watching. If you like what you saw, you know, like, subscribe, hit that notification, and I'll see you in the next one, Verse. Thank you so much for your time. Sorry it wasn't too much this week, but definitely next week I'll be able to try to, you know, boost it up and do a little more. So thank you, Verse, for watching. I'm very grateful.